I've got Vince Iwuchukwu and KJ Lewis here, along with head coach Ed Cooley. He's going to open with a statement, and then we'll move on to questions, and I'll call on you.
Well, I hope we had a little bit more energy in the room, all right? we did win the damn game, right? So, definitely just give Binghamton a lot of credit, right? A lot of credit. Hung around. Today, I thought we played for 11 minutes. If the game was 11 minutes, I would have been really, really happy. You never want to be discouraged about, but a win is a win is a win. And we want to get better every single time. I thought we got better today for 11 minutes when we came out of the locker room. I thought overall our focus, our attention to detail, we've had back-to-back games where we've given up 25 plus free throws. So our discipline defensively has to improve. But you know what? You're going to have games like this here, and you got to give Binghamton all the credit. I mean, they came in here and they did a really good job. They made some shots, right? They made 7 threes, right? We have not shot the 3 well, but I did like the way we came out of halftime. So that's what the positive energy will go off of as we prepare for Clemson. We got to flush this one behind us. I did not do a very good job today at all, not at all. I think the rotations we have to take a look at. I thought we had some bad lineups on the floor with respect to we hadn't practiced that way, and just trying to get more guys minutes. I think that's the dilemma that we're going to be in. Is with this rotation, we got to take a long look at it as these games are going to get more and more competitive. I don't think the game was ever in doubt at all. I just think our players didn't play with the level of discipline and championship mindset that it's going to take in order for us to continue to grow. So I will take all the blame for this. I have to do an incredible mentorship job and psychology job to get our guys to understand that every game is so important. Every game's important. And this is back-to-back games where we're coming off of playing at home, where we're coming off a big road win, and then coming here and not playing the way that we want to play. But overall, it beats not winning the game because we've been on the other side of this, right? So, very, very happy with the guys with respect to the win, disappointed in our mindset.
All right, let's start with Gina Wong from the Washington Post, and then we'll go to Patrick Stevens with Discourse.
And what was the tenor of the conversation at halftime, and how did that lead to, especially defensively in the second half?
I don't think the tenor was any, it was no yelling or furniture moving. It was, we have to show we're better than that.
Yeah.
We made 2 adjustments, and those adjustments worked, right? Again, it's just a will and a want is about success. If you really want to do it and you're willing to sacrifice, you're gonna allow yourself a chance to have success. But if you think you're just gonna show up and it's gonna happen because you have Georgetown on your chest, you might as well transfer it now because you're never gonna play.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
KJ, for you, just what kind of change for you guys coming out of the locker room?
Just what Coach Cooley said, the mindset overall. We weren't very pleased with our performance in the first half. I felt like we left a lot of possessions on the floor with just energy and effort. And then we ended the first half with a little spark, and I felt like it just carried through in the first 11 minutes, like Coach said, in the second half.
All right, let's go to Patrick.
And when you look at they're getting to the foul line as much as they have, Maryland doing the same. How much of that is stuff that you need to work on, and how much of that was them using their guard play to be able to get inside a little bit? And how concerning is that as a longer term thing for you?
Well, fouling is part of the game, right? You want to try to limit that, but we also want to be disruptive in it. And sometimes there's going to be some fouling. We extended the floor in the first half, and they took advantage of that. And that's where our discipline has to come in. And I would say 6 of the fouls in the first half were, I would call, not very smart fouls. Gambling, reaching, not second to jump. So give them credit, they created the fouls, but some of that was we extended our pressure. Second half, we adjusted to that. So give them credit for what they were able to do.
Let's go right here. You can introduce yourself, please.
Ethan Harwood with the Hoya. Your defense was extremely streaky tonight. A few times going 5+ minutes without allowing to make a field goal, but then allowing 5 in a row. What are you looking for moving forward with those defensive momentum events to make sure that the good streaks keep going and the bad ones end quickly?
Great question, great question. You know, some of that may be the lineup. Did we have the right personnel on the floor, right? And is that personnel connected? And again, because we're playing so many guys, are we getting enough reps in practice where those guys are all connected? So when you saw, we had a lineup out there that I never saw even in practice. So that's coaching. So we have to do a better job monitoring that, right? And at the same time, continue to develop it even more. Really, really good question. But it doesn't matter who's on the floor defending for Georgetown. Everybody got to be dialed into it, and we weren't. They had a lot to do with that. This isn't a us thing. They had a lot to do with how poor we performed defensively today.
All right, and let's go to Ron, and we'll get that mic up to Marcus for the next question.
Second half, you kind of leveled quickly off a little bit. He wasn't able to snake and find as much. What exactly do you attribute that to?
Well, I think, a couple of adjustments we made. I mean, I thought he controlled the first half. I'm pretty sure he was very, very excited to come back. I mean, I think he's from the area, and he was part of the scout, right? And I thought, in the first half, he dictated a lot. And then in the second half, I thought we were able to slow him down based on what we tried to concentrate on in the locker room coming out.
Against their 1-3-1 first half, they got a lot of success with the second half, not so much. What did you do? How were you?
I thought we were very passive. Like, when you have a 1-3-1 like that, and they fouled a lot in it too. I think we went to the foul line a ton in the first half as well. Excuse me. So I mean, I think we just attacked it a little bit more with aggression, driving. Against a 1-3-1, it's always going to be 2 against 1 on either side of the floor. So I thought once we had been able to do that and talk to them at halftime, they came right out of it.
All right, let's go to Marcus, Gideon, and then we'll hit John Titel.
Vince, getting the ball inside to you, you really made yourself present. This is the second game in a row you've gotten quite a few free throws. As you get adjusted to being a bigger part of the offense than your last stop, how much are you enjoying this?
I'm enjoying the experience in Georgetown. Enjoying the guys that I'm with. I'm really just enjoying the guys I'm playing with, to be honest, and I'm enjoying the coaches, and there's just a belief, they believe in me, I believe in them, and it's just all working out.
And Coach, I know you want to pressure, especially full court, and this second game in a row, you've spoken about the fouls. Do you think once you set on a rotation that those fouls will naturally dip because you'll have a little bit more cohesion?
Fair question. Remains to be seen because we still working on what does the actual rotation look like. And we're really, really blessed to have 12 players that can all play, right? I mean, so that puts us in a conundrum. And, you have some mainstays and then some of the other rotational guys, some do things better than the other, right? But they're not whole. So it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem. And until we figure that out, and we will, I can tell you, it will look different on Saturday. We know we have a quad 1 game coming into our building, ACC opponent, and I don't know if this is a game where our players will look into that game. That's always something that you're always worried about. You want to play one game at a time, yet kids are kids, right? And hopefully that's not the case all year, but that's something that I'm thinking about because it's happened in back-to-back games.
And struggle from 3, is it the right players in the right spots and it's just simply miss, or do you feel like
we're gonna keep firing it, man?
Yeah, so you don't feel like it's the quality of the 3.
It's a missed shot. It gives you a chance to get an offensive rebound, right? Because I do think the right players are taking them.
Right.
I do think the right players are taking them, and I'm not going to make a big deal of it. I think so many times when you look at poor shooting performances, I don't know what NBA coach talked about it. I think it was Golden State. They're not shooting the ball as well as they want. I think Steph Curry's pretty damn good, right? I think Malik Mack and KJ are pretty damn good. So, the right guys are taking them. They'll fall in. I think once you start beating up on it, the kids question themselves. So I'm not going to worry about that, right?
All right, let's get Gideon, and then if we get that mic back to John Titel, please.
Thanks, Coach. You mentioned the slow starts in games coming off of big road wins. What's the difference in these slow starts that you've had versus the fast starts on the road, and how do you make sure that you are prepared, ready to go for Clemson?
We talked about that, and I don't know if it's the energy and excitement that we're walking to these other buildings. You know what I'm saying? And this is where, you walk into GW, a sold-out crowd. You walk into Kentucky, sold-out crowd. You walk into Marion, sold-out crowd. It's our plea with our students, faculty, staff, you know, parents, community centers, high schools, you know, all the businesses, you know, we need you. As we're growing together, it will be really, really helpful if we get more people to come in and don't come and see who we're playing. We have a damn good basketball team, right? You know, we didn't play as well as we wanted to today, yet we won, and we're continuing to grow and develop. You know, that could play into it a little bit, right? So hopefully on Saturday, you know, we walk in here and there's 6,000 students and 22,000 bodies in the building. Hopefully we can get to that point.
KJ, just quickly, do you have a message for students for Saturday?
You know, just come bring the energy. It's a big time game. We're gonna need all the, you know, support we can get. You know, I don't think people understand the players feed off the crowd energy and the noise and the environment. And it, you know, it fuels us to, you know, continue to win games.
We're gonna go back to John Titel and then Mike.
John Titel from Hoops HD for KJ. I believe tonight was your first ever double-double. I was curious, is it something that you think as a talented player, if you get enough minutes, like you're good enough to put up those numbers? Or do you credit Coach Cooley for turning you into a better all-around player?
I think it's a little bit of both. You know, I love, you know, my coach over there at Arizona with Coach Lloyd. I think I'm just the type of player to do whatever it takes to win. And, you know, I fill up the stat sheet. I feel like, you know, last year towards the end of my, you know, my season over there, I was doing a lot of that. And, you know, credit to Coach Cooley coming in here. He's just been, you know, emphasizing rebounding and going out there and, you know, imposing my will. You know, when I can, I feel like I'm athletic than a lot of guys in the country, and I just, you know, hopefully it's just not my last one.
This for sure will not be his last double-double. I think you're seeing a young man emerge right in front of our eyes, right? Again, giving him just the freedom to grow to be himself. And I think that's the sauce that, you know, that's the magic sauce that we as a staff instill in our men. Go out and be who you are. And again, you know, I'm sitting next to one of the best players in all of college basketball.
All right, that's good, Mike. Greg?
KJ, you had an amazing offensive game today, pretty good, but from watching you the first 3 games this year with Georgetown, it seems like you really relish that defensive side of the ball. Just talk to me about how much you love to go against the other team's best scorer and really knock them down on that side.
It's a mentality. I mean, you know, Coach Cooley is always emphasizing defense. Obviously, today wasn't our best team performance. But, you know, coming into a game, my mentality is to always, you know, be the best defender on the floor when I can. And, I mean, ultimately, to get to the next level, I feel like that's what my calling card is going to be. And, you know, I take pride on that side. You know, I come from, you know, a hard-nosed background, my mom and everything. So it's just a personal, you know, thing. And when you have a coach like Coach Cooley who's going to emphasize it every day, it's hard not to, you know, compete on that end of the ball.
All right. Thanks, everyone.